Jai Baba Loknath, Jai Baba Loknath, Jai. Om Rani Bani Chayo Nityaha Sharanagata Rakshakaha Nimeshad Apadam Harta Nirnimesha Vilochanaha Bharadidhamanathaya Brahmane Brahmacharine Tataya Loknathaya Namaste Lokya Bandhave Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha न गुरोरधिकं न गुरोरधिकं न गुरोरधिकं गुरु कृपा हि केवलम गुरु कृपा हि केवलम गुरु कृपा हि केवलम न गुरोरधिकं न गुरोरधिकं न गुरोरधिकम. Okay, that is the essence, huh? uh, because we always try to look for the next best thing. We always look for the uh, next thing to look for. Our life always revolves around a very repetitive word in our brain, and that is what next. Even if we have the best, but then the next question is, what is the next best? So we never can allow our mind to rest in peace of its own inner intrinsic silence. And it is continuously looking for something. And the whole world is baffled with this particular um, typical nature of human mind. No one really has any clue why the mind, in spite of the fact that even if you give whatever it demands, desires, aspires to, but still it's something very baffling at times. It's a big mystery, it's a big puzzle. Not many could really finally come to a conclusion about it. But of course, those who worked with the mind, those who found time for the mind, those who kept company with the mind, and finally got into a relationship of friendship. When they could get into a relationship of a friendship with the mind, then gradually the mind, as a friend, starts to reveal the secret and the mystery. And then that's a kind of a revelation that, oh Lord, everything was hidden inside the mind. Yet I had no clue. I was kind of thinking this and thinking that, but then I had absolutely no clue that it's all in the mind. And I was trying to think that I'm thinking for things outside the mind, which possibly would bring me that which was all inside the mind, which was all inside the mind, which was hidden in the mind. It was kind of a secret. It was kind of something which was kept as a secret. So here it is for all of you who are here with me this beautiful evening. Welcome. And it's good to see you joining me from different parts of the world. And I see a question because I, sent a small, tiny message that it will be nice if we can throw a question and then we can start to dwell on this to begin with. And of course, when I give you the answer for it, you can also continuously. Don't ask question because I'm asking you to ask a question. There's a beautiful episode in Shri Sai Baba's life where he asks one of his devotees the meaning of the sloka in Bhagavad Gita, in which Lord Krishna speaks about how one can attain to the ultimate knowledge only through the grace and guidance. I repeat, through the grace and guidance of an adept, of one who has reached the ultimate realization of that one indivisible principle called the self. One indivisible. You cannot divide it. Because the moment you divide it, it becomes two and many. And then, of course, you can't break truth into two and many. Truth is one. Ekam Sat. Truth is one. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. This is the pronouncement of our Vedas, which says that the truth is one, but Vipra means those who sought to know the truth, who had done their penance to know the truth, who sacrificed all their pleasures of life in order to ultimately attain to that state where, beyond the physical pleasures, beyond the mental attractions and aversions, if one could transcend the mind, then only one could reach to the point of the truth beyond dualism. So he says, Lord Krishna also, this is only one sloka in the entire Bhagavad Gita, because in entire Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is the disciple. Arjuna is the disciple. He symbolizes the disciple because he, to begin with, was completely confused. Should he kill his own kids? Or should he give up all this stuff and go out and lead a life of begging and like a Brahmin? But though he was a Kshatriya. But he was not ready to kill his own kins, the most loved ones. So his mind was completely clouded. He couldn't understand what to do. And he's standing there to fight. The charioteer Krishna then kindles the ultimate reality of the truth of the Atman, the witnessing self, the witnessing consciousness, which, as I said, is hidden. We see everything in this world. The only thing that we always miss seeing in everything is that which is no thing. I would say nothing. That which is no thing. That which is, again, the very source of all things, yet itself is no thing. That is the witnessing consciousness. So in that particular sloka, Lord Krishna says, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnana sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnana sevaya. How are you going to attain to that ultimate knowledge? How you can attain to self-realization? How you can attain to peace in life, happiness in life? Tad vidhi, you must know yourself. It's only when you know who you are. It's only when you know the reality of your own true nature. It's only when you know what this body is all about, what this mind is all about, what is this buddhi or intelligence is all about, what is this prana that is playing all over my body, what it is all about. So it's like tad vidhi pranipatena. What you should do? You have to find out. You have to find out. Because if you are seeking something, that means you are a searcher. And the Lord says, and our entire Vedic wisdom says, your first search and seeking is not anything but what you really want in life. First seek and search who has already found it. So if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be a billionaire, entrepreneur, business person, a tycoon, a huge industrialist, if that is your dream, fine. That means you are seeking and searching wealth, success. Absolutely acceptable, absolutely fine. But then what are you going to first seek and find? The truth is this, the wisdom is this. Always first find out a mentor who himself has started at some lower point and has reached a high state of success, wealth in life. If you can find one such person and somehow manage to convince him to give you a couple of minutes of his or her own time, then the first question you're going to ask is, sir or madam, I just want to know from you just a piece of advice that you could share with me. Some key by which you unlock the treasure of wealth and all the success in your life. I want to know from you. So you try to find one who knows, and that knowing is through experiencing. So one who has experienced the path of being a millionaire, a billionaire, a success story, find out one such person. You definitely don't go and sit by the side of a beggar on the street and say, here I am at your feet. I want to know how to be a millionaire, how to be a successful person. You don't do that. You don't spend time with them. You always look for those people who have really been a success. Because you are a person who is trying to seek and find success. In the same manner, once this kind of search and seeking for this so-called success, wealth, name, fame, or whatever it is, acceptance, acknowledgement, recognition, everything is over, then still there will be the question which I started my talk today with, what next? I wanted to be successful. Today I'm a successful person. I wanted to have a lot of money, and I know I have no money, but only numbers. Initially it was money. But as I grew bigger and bigger, wealthier and wealthier, what I knew was only numbers. And I played with the numbers. I played with the stock. It's all numbers. So once he's done with the numbers or she's done with the number, then what will happen is, quite naturally, nothing comes for free. Please try to note this. This is my message for today. This is my message for today. I wanted to deliver it to you. Nothing comes for free. Success is not just wealth and money and fame. Success also has a lot of stress and tears, agony and suffering. But not anybody will see it. Not everybody will be able to have access to know this. But a true biographer will find this out from every successful person. The true story behind what is being seen by the society. I hope you all will agree with me on this. So as a result, what I'm talking about is, once you're done with this so-called jugglery of success, once you're done of satisfying yourself with eulogy, appreciations, flattery, or people around you who can feed your ego well by appreciating what you do so good, But as long as you are flattered by all these beautiful praises from all people and addicted to the praises, then the price of a praise is always insult and times of depressions. Everything has a price. So the wealth and success also has a price other than the wealth and success that you make out of the whole search, seek, and then attain. So what I was trying to share with you is this, that yes, you can go in this world hunting for success and you'll find it. But once you have truly found a success, then you will have already an understanding inside you that this success was totally a false, fake persona. It's a mask. It's not true. There's no success. Because as long as the mind is drowned in ignorance and illusion of the self, the mind will be always falling from one quicksand to the other, one quagmire to the other, and will always go through its own bouts of stresses and strains and fears and anxieties and hate and jealousies, competition and whatnot. No one could ever avoid this. So here I'm trying to bring you to a very straight point, and that is, once you are done with all so-called search and seeking of these so-called worldly wealth success stories, then what happens? Then the real search for true success in life comes. And the true success, if anybody would ask me, how would you define what is true success? What would be my reply? It will be very simple. I'll say, if I can live my day without regrets, and if at the time the final moment comes, I die without regrets, remembering the divine Lord and his divine lotus feet. If I could put my head at his lotus divine feet without any regrets, complaints, anything to ask, anything to demand, desire anymore, when I'm done with all regrets and everything that is of the world, and I have only the lotus feet of my Guru, and I put my head over it and I pass over, that's my true success. Then I have lived my life well. That's my way of looking at success that I would share with you. This is my success definition. This is how I look at success. Because I've gone around the world and I've met so many successful people in the world, celebrities in the world, and I've really found they're far away from success, miles away from success, because they live with regrets. And I know they will die a regretful death. Ask the nurses of the best of the hospitals and hospices in the world. They will tell you the story of 10 most common regrets that people die with the last terminal stage. Very common. If only I would have done that. If only I would have done that. True success story comes only through spiritual understanding. So here, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnana sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam jnanina hastatvadarshinaha. You have to, Lord Krishna says, you have to seek and search and find a mentor. Because now you want spiritual illumination. Now you want to lift your mind to a higher vibratory field and frequency, where the mind is energy, vibration and frequency of a higher world. So you have to find a mentor who will teach you how to uplift your mind with your own mind. Uddharetatmanatmanam. This is what Lord Krishna is saying. Lift your mind with your own mind, not with somebody else's mind. Lift your mind with your own mind. Natmanam avashada. Don't allow your mind to drop into depressions. So he says here, first seek, search. Search for what? Not for God. You have to find God in the form of a human being first. One who will embody godliness, goodliness. One who will embody the qualities that you are possibly having in your heart as the ultimate ideal of what God could be. That is to you. Upadekshanti te jnanam. He or she alone will advise you, instruct you. Who? The Guru. But who is the Guru? Jnaninaha tatvadarshinaha. The Jnani, the one who is the knower of the knowingness. Knower of the knowingness. Knower of the unknowable. To the extent where the unknowable and the person has merged into one. Tattvadarshinaha. Krishna says, go to a Tattvadarshi. That Tattvadarshi will give you jnana, not me. Tattvadarshi will give. Not God will give you. Tattvadarshi will. Tattvadarshinaha. A Tattvadarshi, the one who has seen the Tattva, one who has seen the essence, one who has experienced the essence. Only such person who has lived, breathed, treaded moment to moment in sheer contemplation, meditation, and in that remembrance and mindfulness of divine grace continuously surrounding him or her all the time. And in his mouth there is no curse. In his mouth there is no bad, foul, negative words. In his mouth he never finds any complaints. He's ever happy, satisfied, content. He's calm. His inside is calm. He has seen the changing phenomenon of this world. And now he has gone deeper and deeper and deeper into the unchangeable witnessing consciousness. So he or his entire sadhana, his entire spiritual practice has been to again and again just do the japa and then go deep and deep inside to that witnessing self, which is witnessing all the changing phenomenon of life and the game of the mind. Jnaninaha tattvadarshina. Upadekshanti. That person will give you upadesha. That person will give you the knowledge. It is for you to make it wisdom. He cannot give you wisdom. He can only give you knowledge. Because if you chew, if you eat, if you digest, if you metabolize, if you can bring it as an energy, it will be your wisdom, not that person's wisdom. So when the Guru talks, he doesn't give you wisdom. He gives you knowledge for you to transmute that into wisdom. So, upadekshanti te jnanina tattvadarshina. But in the beginning he said, pariprashnana sevaya. You know where I started this? I said, don't just ask questions just for the heck of it. Baba is asking me to ask a question. I ask a question. I will forget about it. I enjoy the answer for a few minutes. And then I get busy with my daily tasks, my daily rituals, my daily unmindful life. No. Don't ask questions and don't waste time for it. Participate in this entertainment of this talk, but don't ask questions. If you ask questions, let it come from your core. Let it come from your core. That you really want to know. Because in this world, I tell you, there is one thing which is really scarce, really scarce. It's not money, it's not man. It's really scarce. It's satsanga. The company of the Holy One is so scarce today. It's very difficult to find. So when you find it, don't take it for granted. When you are getting it from anybody, don't take it for granted. Just take each bits and pieces of it as if someone is giving you your life's treasure. And who knows, you may not get him or her the next day. When I used to live in Punadas Road ashram, people from around that locality, they used to come every day to the ashram, and by evening it's all full. And we used to have wonderful time, wonderful satsangs and bhajans and kirtans. I'm talking about the early 90s, the whole of 90s for that matter. And then we shifted to Baligich Place, and then we shifted to Kosva. But those people who were residents of the area of Punadas, they come and tell me, Baba, we so much miss those days. But at that time, we did not know. We thought this is there for us. Baba is there for us. But today, we don't find you at all. Do not take anything for granted. You realize the value of everything really precious, priceless, only when you are wanting it, but you no longer can avail it. Then you really start missing it. So here it is. What I was trying to talk to you about is that Pariprashnana Shevaya. That's the word Lord Krishna used. That how do you interact with your guru? How would you interact with your spiritual teacher, mentor, guide? How are you going to do it? How are you going to spend time with him? Pariprashnana Sevaya. Tadvidhi pranipatena. First you must do sashtang, flat on the ground. See, your ego has to be flat on the ground. Pariprashnana Sevaya. How you are going to serve your teacher? Pariprashna. That you must say that I'm confused. I don't know. I try to do this, but I always come across this conflicting things going on in my mind. And at times I'm in a haze and I can't look beyond. It's so difficult. Would you please show me the way? Would you please bless me so that this veil on my eyes is removed? I have been trying, I cannot do it. My days are going, my days are passing into months and years, and still I feel I am not able to see the light. I'm still battling with myself. I'm fighting with myself all the time. I have been in this path for such a long time. I've been doing japa, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. I've been reading books, I've been reading quotes, I've been reading the wisdom of the world, but still I do not know. I am battling with not others, I'm battling with myself. How do I get out of it? Tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnana shivaya. Ask and find a reply, find an answer. That is the way Norman Berg has asked a question. Good morning from the United States of America. A question. If Guru is our eternal self, then what is the difference between the Guru in the body and the Sadguru? I think This question, I have taken this question, answered it many times, but I'll once again try to tell you that if you look at it from the earliest childhood, whatever we wanted to learn in life, we always had somebody who definitely taught us. Any skill we developed, we always took the assistance of someone to learn. Then we practiced it. Then we made it our own. And then we even imparted that same skill to somebody else. So Guru is our eternal self, but this is a word. This is a word. This is not your reality. This is the word of the wisdom of the masters. They say, those who have realized the great masters, they say, the Vedas say, the book of ultimate wisdom say these words, that your Guru is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, even beyond to Parabrahma Swarupa. He is Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the sustainer, and the Shiva, the ultimate destroyer. So the Brahma, the Vishnu, the Shiva, but he is not only this Trinity, he is beyond the Trinity. What? Parabrahma Swarupa. Parabrahma is beyond any human comprehension. It's beyond all definitions. Parabrahma Swarupa. So these are the realizations of the great masters. But then for all others, these are some words which can convey some kind of a dharana. By dharana, I mean some kind of a subtle images which you can possibly try to comprehend. What is this eternal self? That means deep inside of me there is I am, I am, I am. So deep within me that I am consciousness has something to do with the self. Because though I say I am body, I am mind, I am this, I am that, but then one thing common is body is different, mind is different, everything else is different, but I am remains the same constant. It doesn't change. When I was a child and when now I am adolescent, youth, middle-aged, senior, whatever, these have changed, but I, the witness, have remained the same. That is my eternal self. But then this is something which has not been realized. It's something one is trying to figure out. Through japa, through meditation, through contemplation, through Guru Seva, through all acts of compassion, love, forgiveness, through overcoming all your negative impulses and emotions, you're basically trying to have a glimpse of the eternal self. That's your Guru. Then what is the difference between the Guru in the body and the Sadguru? What is the difference? Then what is this? How can that Parabrahma, how can that ultimate Lord could just be a typical human being with all human limitations we see in them? They're asking for food, they're asking for this, they're asking for that. They move like any one of us. There's no difference. How do you expect us to really have that particular identification of the divinity with someone who is still in a localized body and interacting in a local, kind of state? How? The difference is this, Suma, the difference is this to all of you. To begin with, because we are working to begin with our ego, with our mind, and with our sense perceptors. With our ego, with our mind, and with our senses. This is our beginning of the journey. To begin with, we are not egoless, eternal self. To begin with, we are not beyond our sense perceptors. To begin with, our eyes are not, kind of looking inside, deep within to see that particular light in our heart. No, that's not the beginning of the journey. To begin with, everything is externalized, externally focused. That's the beginning of the journey. So, to begin with, you see that you are continually interacting with things of this world, people of this world, in different relationships. You are relating. You are relating to the trees and the plants and the animals and the insects and humans and the stars and the galaxies and the planets and the air and the light and the sun and the earth. You are interacting and relating from your own perspective. So your world stands on the platform of relative perception through your sense perceptors and your brain processing them and your mind helping the brain to give you a feedback. Yeah, this is it. So, because your world revolves around this relationship, the world revolves around your relative consciousness. And because you are in a relative plane of consciousness, you are not working in an absolute abstraction of consciousness, but you are in a relative plane of consciousness. You need someone who comes to you in a body, guru in the body. You need the guru in the body. Why? Because then you can relate, then you can talk, then pariprashna is possible, shashtangra pranipata is possible, seva is possible. Then you can say Guru Seva, then you can say Guru Pranam, then you can say Pariprashna. All this is possible. But with the abstraction, you cannot do that. With the absolute, you cannot do that. And even if you do, you basically manage with your own mind, everything. You are basically interacting both the two sides. But it is easier. When they give up every form, yet they always have either a book or something to hold on to, something to relate to. If the Christians don't have idols and murtis like we, the Hindus, have in our temples, but still, in the churches, I have always seen there is always a cross. And what's the difference between a murti and a cross? A murti is a symbol, and a cross also is a symbol. What you see in the symbol is your vision, your perception. What St. Francis will see in a cross and what you will see in a cross are the two different things altogether. What a sage will see in a murti made of bronze or iron or wood or whatever, and what an ordinary person praying to that murti will see, is a totally different thing. So, you need a guru in life, because otherwise you will not be able to realize the absoluteness of the abstraction of that concept beyond all concepts. You need somebody to embody it before you so that you know it is doable. If he can do it, I can also do it. Because he, the doer, is also showing you the path to go beyond doings. Because he has realized there is no doing, it's false. There's only being, reality. The true guru is one who has realized the falsehood and the falseness of all doings in life. To me, he is a guru. A true guru, a true Sadguru is one to me who has realized that the entire concept of doing is false, fake. It doesn't stand the test of truth. A true Sadguru is one who has realized the falseness of doings and have realized the essence of being. And why do you have to approach such a person? If you want to be a millionaire, don't go to such person. Of course, you can go to such persons asking for his magic so that you can get the next couple of more millions, which most people do to the sadhus. They go to the sadhus not for the sake of God, not for the sake of truth, not for the sake of anything, but to see a miracle that what they want and desire in life, they'll get it just like that. People go to these great masters not for the sake of self-realization, Atma-jnana. No, they go there because they are interested in order to find success, in order to find what they are seeking, searching. Definitely not what God is. But then, handful will always reach out to such persons. Handful. A few chosen ones will come in and around such person, always waiting and hankering to ultimately have a glimpse of that one reality. Hidden in the body of the Guru, the essence which can just flicker at moments. And that flicker is the presence. The presence that comes only in the present moment, where the past and future no longer exists in a non-local reality. And obviously, when you find such person in your life, something happens. If you are a true seeker and a true searcher, if you really are hungering for, thirsting for that test of the higher world, that magic, that miracle, what can happen when the mind becomes silent? If you're looking for that silent zone inside of yourself, then you look for a person who can take you to that silent zone, because the moment you come out of that silence, the whole world is a chatterbox. Billions of monkeys chattering together, inside and outside. All monkeys are chattering inside the brain, and all monkeys chattering in the crowd. Billions, different colors, cultures, names, nationalities. But there is a silent zone inside of each one of these. And only when at times you can unplug from this external world and plug into the inner world of that quiet, calm space, then you can have some glimpses. What's the purpose of your life? You'll have some glimpses. What is all this meaning of life? Because most people fail to understand the meaning of life. They, rather than living, they vegetate in this world and die like vegetables. Very few people come to be alive in this world. Others come to vegetate and die as vegetables. So become more, I'll say become more and more eager to know that deeper reality. And if you already have a guru, give your heart and soul to the guru, not the body. Guru, that is the self which the body embodies. Guru lives in his teachings. Guru lives in his practices. Guru lives in his aura. Guru lives in his eyes and the way he sees you, talks to you, inspires you, helps you, guides you, protects you. Na Guru Radhikam, Na Guru Radhikam, Na. That's the reason there is nothing next after Guru. Once you have realized your Guru, then the question stops. What next? You have found the answer for all questions in the world, all resolved. Because Guru means all your questions dissolved. Guru means all the darkness dispelled, and your questions can pop up only in darkness, in a state of unawareness. Because the moment you become totally aware, question stops. Mind calms down to a state of calmness. Question doesn't come. Many people all over the world I've heard saying, coming to me, they sit and then they tell me, you know, Baba, there's something, it's a kind of something strange thing is happening to me. Before I started off my home, I just listed so many questions that I had all my life, and I thought, I'm going to Baba, I'll ask Baba. I'll possibly get the clarification because people say that he is a knowledgeable person. Okay, I'll go and talk to him and ask my questions. So I prepared my questions in my mind and I came to you. And the moment I sat before you, all my questions vanished. Now I'm trying to find this question, and you, crazy person, you are asking me, do you have any questions? I do it many times. Do you have any question? And that person says, yes, I had. You had? Where are they gone? I don't know. Because the moment you come within the aura field of your guru, there's a field of aura, you know. The moment you come within the zone of that aura, your mind automatically calms down. And the moment the mind comes down, your chattering questions are gone. You don't find them. How you can ask? You can't even ask. Because the mind needs to be in a grosser plane. The mind needs to be in an egotistical plane. The mind needs to be in a materialistic plane to ask questions to the Guru, why this and where that? The moment he is spiritually, deeply into higher vibration, it will start to become, the waves of the mind will start from beta to alpha. Alpha waves. The alpha waves mean automatically coming down. Obviously, there will be no more thoughts. Where there are random thoughts, when you come and sit before your Guru, the thoughts comes to subside. They don't work. So if you are a true seeker, a true searcher, I heard there was, and I've narrated this story many times. It's about the story of Lord Buddha, that he was sitting one day and then many devotees were all around, the Shramanas and bhikshus were all around, the monks. Then here a person comes and sits before Buddha and says, "Well, Lord, I have a question. Do you think God exists?" Buddha looked at this person and Buddha said, "Yes, yes, yes." He was so happy. He just got up, did his pranam, and left the place. After a while, another person comes. This person also comes and does his pranam, offers his obeisance, respects, and then he asks this very same question. "Well, Lord, I have heard that you answer to many questions of many people. I have a question. Do you think God exists?" He looked at the person and he said, "No, God doesn't exist. No." He was so happy. He got up, did his pranam, and left. Another person came after a while. This person comes, offers his respects, and then sits before Buddha in meditation posture. And then gradually, his eyes just, close down in its normal way. And he is into a meditative state. Buddha was looking at all these disciples and devotees. His eyes also gets closed and he also is in a meditative state. So the person sitting in front and the master sitting there, both of them are in a meditative state. Both of them are silent. Nobody is talking. No question, no answer. And then what happened? After a while, this man gets up, very happy, smiles, offers his obeisance, and leaves the place. No words exchanged. Ananda, Buddha's cousin, used to be always Buddha all the time, taking care of him. Ananda was very surprised. Rather, he was totally confused. Hare, what is this? Somebody comes and questions you. Do you think God is there? And you said, yes. Next moment, another person comes, the same question. Do you think God exists? He said, no. Why did you say yes and why did you say no? If it is yes, it is yes. If it is no, it is no. You're so inconsistent. Then another person comes, doesn't talk, you don't talk, and he leaves very happy. What is all this? What am I to ultimately take as the gist of this? Buddha said, this is something very simple. The first person who came to ask me the question, do you think God exists? He came with a ready-made answer in his head. God doesn't exist because he didn't believe in God. And I said, no, God doesn't exist. The second person who came to me was a believer of God. So he used to go to temples and he used to go to masjids and mosques and everywhere. And here he comes to me and he is basically asking me, do you think God exists? I said, yes, God exists. For him, I said, God exists because he believes God exists. But they were curious. They are simple questioners. There is no intensity in it. There is no deep sense of sincerity in it. They are not deep seekers and searchers. Finally, did you see one person came? And this one person, he comes, sits, and then he doesn't ask any question. He doesn't ask any question. He is down into a state of silence. And then did you see after a while, he simply gets up and leaves the place. He said that Buddha said, the third person who comes is a true seeker. He has understood one thing. That this knowledge of the self can only be found in silence and not in words and answers and questions. And the only way that I can communicate with my master is not by body to body, because master is not the body. Master is the soul, the spirit, the eternal self. So I need to go into myself, and from there I need to throw my question to the universal self. That's my master. I need to just open up my heart completely without any answer, any question, anything, that if you are to show me the light, it's your choice. I'm open, I'm only a receiver, so I have no demand. I'm just here, open, receptive. So when you are totally receptive, when your body, your mind, your spirit, everything is now vibrating to finally receive that seed, then you just go on talking. You don't talk so much. That's one of the greatest gurus of Indian tradition. It's called Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti is the greatest guru. I know he used to instruct his children, his disciples, through silence. He never spoke. He never gave lectures. He never did this kind of satsangas, because his disciples also were of a particular state where they were now ready to receive the master's message without the spoken verbal words. Because words are most often misconstrued, misunderstood, misinterpreted, misrepresented, misconceived. So the true knowledge can come to you provided you create your entire container to be so open and so receptive that now you have no stake whatsoever other than the divine grace to unfold itself, only because the grace is grace, and the grace alone decides what's good for me and what is good for me eternally. So I open myself to the grace. Grace knows what is my question, because the grace is my question. Grace knows when am I to receive it. So I'm open to the grace. Kripa hi kevalam, kripa hi kevalam, kripa hi kevalam. Guru kripa hi kevalam, guru kripa hi kevalam, guru kripa hi kevalam. Na guror adhikam, na guror adhikam, na guror adhikam. Guru kripa hi kevalam, guru kripa hi kevalam, guru kripa hi kevalam. Become the third who comes, sits, goes into silence. The teacher also goes into silence. There are no exchange of words. So throughout your day-to-day life, find some moments when you can sit with the eternal Guru, commune in silence. And Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, Gurus will come and go, blah, blah, blah. I know those of you, as I said the other day, those of you who come here, I see the same people. I'm sure you all are trying to do manana of these words, contemplation, trying to trying to create that vibration inside of you through your thoughts. And take it from me, your biggest boon in life are your thoughts and vibration related to the higher domain of your Guru, God, and the divinity. That alone will create the inner immunity. It will create that inner healing state which can repel all negativity, which can take away all that is gross, contaminated, corrupt, and will take you to a zone inside of you which is a place of silence and peace and happiness beyond pleasures and pain cycles. A state in which you are with your Guru, and that Guru is not just the body. You are not expecting your body Guru to write to you, to talk to you, to do this and to do that. And if that body Guru doesn't do all of it, you don't really feel that you are really important enough anymore. That kind of relationship with the Guru is a very infantile kind. Rise above it. Try to find your Guru in your heart. Try to feel the breaths of your Guru in your own breaths. Try to feel the presence of your Guru in your own presence when you are able to take your mind from the past and the future, even for some split seconds and seconds of your life. Thus you will find that you are gradually evolving to that higher ascendance of the self. And the ascended masters will all fill you with grace. And the master of your life, the teacher of your life, the guide of your life, his or her grace will also come pouring to you, because your container is now getting readier and readier. So with these words, my time is more than up. I'm so happy that at least we can bring these higher vibrations into this world and then disseminate it, spread it out, so that it goes into the ether. And whoever is aspiring for this higher vibratory words and vibrations may receive them and convert them into their practice in life and be happy. Not struggle so much. Just be at its own ease. Stay well and stay safe. Stay in yourself. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.